with the new season comes, yes, the return of Dr. Ryan McCorkle to talk about Devin Vassell injury and Wemby's added size.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome back to Locked On Spurs, right here on the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Glad to have y'all back. And yeah, Spurs action is back. Can you believe it? Had a few games already to start the regular season, and it's go Spurs go throughout the city of San Antonio and across the globe. It's pretty much, face it, Spurs are a global team from France with Wemby. You know how it goes. The international flavors in San Antonio. As always, we thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen every single day. Free and available wherever you get podcasts. iTunes, Spotify, Ken's 5 Plus app, YouTube. You know where to go. Go subscribe, download the podcast ASAP. By the way, everybody, we got newsletters now. In case you didn't know, it'll be in the description here on the YouTube side of things. Click on that, subscribe, get yourself on that Locked On Spurs newsletter. What are we talking about today? Well, as I said, Dr. Ryan McCorkle's back after a long offseason and the preseason. I just wanted him to take a break before I started bugging him a lot throughout the regular season, so I didn't bother him during the preseason. He is back. For those of y'all who are new to this, it's a new season. Dr. Ryan McCorkle is our go-to guy whenever there's a Spurs injury or just some health-related things that are revolving around the Spurs, the NBA. And he came out a lot last season discussing so many things, from why the Spurs went to yoga, Wemby's flexibility, the injuries to Zach Collins. He covered it all for us, and he's starting us with that again here on Locked On Spurs. But it's kind of a double-edged sword. I want him to come on Locked On Spurs so much, but if he comes on Locked On Spurs so much, that means the injury bug hit the Spurs. So I'm like, what do I do? What do I do here? But nevertheless, we're going to be discussing, or he's going to be discussing, Devin Vassell's injury. What is going on with that? Why are the Spurs sitting him out? Could he make that November 1 projected return? And then we're going to be discussing Wemby and his added size. Wemby's always been kind of, bullish, not really too wanting to add some size, but he did. He said he added some weight. We're going to be discussing that and more. Let's go and bring him on. He is Dr. Ryan McCorkle. There he is, Doc. Welcome back to Locked On Spurs.
Hey, Jeff. It's good to be back. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, as you heard in the intro, I didn't want to bother you as much as I could, during the preseason. I said, no, I'm going to bother him enough in the regular season. So, but here we are. You're back. You want to reintroduce yourself to the new listeners, the new watchers here on the YouTube page. For those of you who are old, he's a familiar face here, but just for those that are new, I know you're a surgeon based out of Austin, Texas. You work with the concierge medical practice. What's going on?
For all the new listeners, I'm Dr. Ryan McCorkle. I'm an MD, MPH, went to med school in San Antonio and got to rotate with the Spurs team doc a couple of times. And then again here in Austin with UT, kind of got me into the mode of doing this type of thing. I've been working at St. David's Medical Center here in Austin for the last 11 years. I also work at Austin Emergency Center, and I have my own backstage medical IV hydration business that takes care of the musical artists that are coming through Austin on their tours at the Moody Center, ACL Live,
right.
Coda, those kind of things, taking care of athletes and musicians. And then I get to come on here and talk to you about my favorite team, the Spurs, whenever they have medical issues that come up. So it's a pretty good time.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said earlier, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. The more frequently you're on here, I'm like, the injury bug must hit the Spurs. That's not a good thing. But then I'm glad that you're back because I get to talk with you and connect with Spurs fans. Yeah, he is a great follow. Make sure to follow him on X at AustinERDoc and on Instagram at AustinEMDoc. Do that right now. And so welcome back, Doctor. We appreciate it. But let's go and dive into it. I know you're a busy man. You can see he's still in his scrubs, so he's busy at work. So we got to get him out here ASAP.
Let's start. I failed to mention that I'm the director for UT Football Stadium and also for Austin FC Soccer Stadium.
That's right.
So that's why you see me. We had some UT stuff to do this morning, and then I'll be in the ER here in about an hour. So you're right, a lot going on.
Yeah, he got a lot going on, but we're gonna give him some flowers in a bit. He'll tell you what happened, and I'm surprised he's not wearing a red cape right now with a big R for Dr. Ryan McCorkle on his chest. He did a good thing. He's going to be talking about that in a few seconds. And I'm proud of him, very proud of him. Doctor, let's go and dive into it. Devin Vassell is out to start the regular season. The Spurs listed it as a right third metatarsal head stress reaction surgery. He is projected to come back on November 1. Let's go to start off with that. What does that mean in plain English? What happened to Devin?
I think we're all kind of familiar with stress fractures at any level of weekend warrior athlete. A lot of times you'll see those start as shin splints and they can become stress reactions
Yeah.
in tibia. So this is the same thing, but in an athlete who spends a lot of time running and jumping and landing. So that third metatarsal of that being the part of your toe that's up into
Yeah.
the back part of your foot. He's just had a stress fracture there from the repetitive jumping and landing. It's because he's going to be doing that hopefully for the next 10 to 15 years. It became more prudent to go ahead and do surgery on that and do what's called internal fixation to kind of permanently address the problem rather than trying to manage it like you or I would
Yeah.
on people who are on it a lot less.
How invasive is the procedure? Is it, in and out? Does it stay for a couple of days? Is it pretty lengthy? What type of procedure is this?
Most orthopedic surgeries now are in and out. It's a day surgery. Some of them can even be done under sedation without having to do the whole general
Yeah.
anesthesia where they put a tube down to breathe for you and put you on a ventilator. These things, they can even do local blocks where they just numb up from the knee down and do the surgery. It's depending on how it's done, it can be more and less invasive. You can do things with what are called K wires, where you just kind of put a wire in there for reinforcement, all the way up to a complete open reduction internal fixation. They call that ORIF, meaning that you open the skin, you actually put a metal plate and screws over the bone and fix it, like
Yeah.
fixate it. So it's never going to move. It's basically a piece of metal now that's wrapped around the bone and screwed into the cortex of the bone. That's a bit more invasive.
Yeah. Yeah. Devin, I believe over the offseason, he was wearing a boot. He had a picture of himself on his personal IG Instagram, and he was at a kids camp, and there he was. It looks like a scooter, like where you bend your knee in a scooter, and then your
Yeah.
your foot is in a boot like that. How much? And now you fast forward to today, he's back on, back on 2 feet. He is starting to work out with the team. Not to do anything too strenuous and everything, but why the boot? Why is it necessary for athletes to put a boot on, as we saw with Devin Vassell?
It limits the motion, so you're not doing a lot of the dorsiflexion, plantar flexion kind of movement. The boot keeps it where it is, but a lot of times you can bear weight on the back part of that boot, so it allows you to at least be able to walk and kind of do your daily activities.
Yeah.
That scooter is what is really in just the very early parts where you put your knee on the scooter, use your other foot to
You're right.
kind of
Yeah.
push off more or less like a skateboard, but on your knee.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've had a lot of docs that I work with use those getting around the ER after they've had foot and ankle
Yeah.
surgery.
Is this a common injury with athletes? Whether it be basketball players, football players, soccer players, is this pretty common?
It's common. It's not like your ankle sprains, your knee ligament, your low back kind of things, but it's just that next tier. It's a
Yeah.
common athletic injury. Having surgery for it is, maybe a little less common. A lot of times we just manage it. It may have been a little higher grade of a stress fracture, and it was just better to address it, put a plate and screw in there, and be done with it from there on out. That's a little more invasive, but yeah, it's a fairly common injury and common surgery.
Yeah. Is this something that the Spurs should keep an eye on as reoccurring? Do you think this is something that could possibly flare up again once Devin comes back? He's pounding on the court. Months down the road, it could happen again.
Not in that location. I think that's
Okay.
why we went with a more invasive approach of opening it up, putting the screws in, putting the plate
Okay.
in, or putting the
Okay.
wires in, because then done, dusted. Could it happen on the other foot or in one of the other metatarsals?
Yeah.
I mean, it could, but this particular place, it was, let's do a longer recovery period. We got the whole off season and get this definitively done and not have to deal with it going forward.
Hey, I want to talk to you about FanDuel. You want to go to fanduel.com right now. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So much when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play by play, so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You just got to go to fanduel.com right now. Speaking of fanduel.com, look, the NBA season is also around the corner. Spurs fans, time to have some fun with your silver and black on the court. The app is very easy to get, very easy to use, user friendly, very intuitive. Make your picks 1, 2, 3. Bet on parlays, bet on win spreads, totals. I mean, seriously, you can have so much fun with sports this sports season with FanDuel. Again, America's #1 sports book. You just got to get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Yeah, you'll get started with that. And when you place your first $5 bet, you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Another reason why you got to go to FanDuel when you place your first $5 bet. That's fanduel.com. Go to fanduel.com right now, America's #1 sportsbook.
This is Emilio Rivera, El Padrino for the Mayans MC. You are listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
Now, the Spurs are projecting November 1 as a possible return, not set in stone, just possible return. That's kind of a quick turnaround, but yeah, I guess you factor in the offseason. The surgery was done early in the offseason. He had the full offseason to go in. He's in training camp. He was kind of out, but now he's back in. Is November 1 pushing it? Would you be surprised if he does come back November 1 or if the Spurs push off his return date?
So we don't have an exact surgery date. We're not entitled.
I think June was the month that it was thrown out there, bandied about. So if we go with
Right.
June as a starting point, yeah.
So anywhere June to November is it's a pretty conservative timeline. Like that's a long time for recovery. The most common recovery time for this surgery, not this injury, but this surgery, is 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
So if it was June 1st, November 1st, I believe would be like
Right.
5 months. So
Okay.
that would be giving it extra time and being extra cautious.
Yeah, I mean, nobody should be surprised if the Spurs are being extra cautious with health to their players. That's just kind of the culture there when in the medical side of things of the organization. They, as Doctor mentioned, are very conservative. They'll, oh, Doctor A says you can come back in 3 weeks. Spurs medical staff are like saying, no, tack on another 2 weeks. So they're likely to take that approach. But Devin seems to be in good spirits. He spoke with media during media day. He's been, fine. No wear for tear. He's on the court and the practice gym doing 3-on-3s, doing some workouts already. That's a good sign. I venture to say, if the Spurs weren't conservative, he could have probably started regular season day 1 against Dallas. But Spurs will do the Spurs. They will be very cautious with their players. And also, too, Devin is just very, his history of injuries, is very concerning for Spurs fans, especially. Oh, is he injury prone? Why can't he never stay healthy? Even Devin admitted himself last season, to close out last season, Doctor, he said, one of my goals is to get close to an 82-game season. What do you think about that? NBA players nowadays are rare that they will play a full and complete 82 game, unless your name is Harrison Barnes. Guy plays 82 games all the time. But is that just kind of the norm now that NBA players will we ever see an 82 game player? Will that happen again?
I think that's a big discussion that's happening a lot now. I think,
Yeah.
I mean, if in a perfect world, I think we'd shorten the season, 70 games, something like that. But that messes with people's historical context of what do the statistics mean based, you'll have to compare eras because different number of games. And the next time that an owner of a professional franchise gives up money will be the first time. And nobody wants to give up the revenue of those 12 games. So I think the middle ground you come to is you're going to see players sit out a few games, but you got to find that middle ground between, Kawhi and Joel Embiid, sitting out exorbitant number of games and where it becomes important to the image of the league of those players not being present on big televised games versus, a random Tuesday in the middle of the season, maybe taking a rest day.
Yeah, it didn't take long for that topic to pop up to start the new season. The 76ers, according to ESPN, are being investigated regarding Embiid's health and his ability to play day one of the regular season. So yeah, that's a big topic. But as far as for Devin concerned, Spurs fans definitely want him back, and that's one of my big questions this upcoming season. You know, Doctor, you've seen it all these reports. Oh, the Spurs were chasing Laurie Markkinen and Trey Young and Darius Garland, for that 1-2 punch with Wemby. What if they already have it already in their backyard with Devin? What if he's that guy? So, and if he can stay healthy, and it looks like he's back from this injury slash surgery, perhaps he could be it. We shall see. That's one of my big questions that I want answered by the end of the regular season. Will Devin emerge? But the first step for him is staying healthy. That's something that he has not been able to do over the last few years. We are joined by Dr. Ryan McCorkle. For those y'all who are familiar with Dr. Ryan, y'all know why he's here. He catches up and briefs us, educates us on the world of sports medicine, sports injuries, particularly to your San Antonio Spurs. And for you new listeners slash watchers on YouTube of Locked On Spurs, make sure to follow him on X at at Austin ER Doc, and on Instagram at Austin EM Doc. He will chat you up, just ask some questions if you have anything concerning the Spurs and injury front. Now, not injured, thank goodness, knock on wood, or knock on steel, knock on kryptonite, knock on everything in the world right now. Wemby is not hurt. He started the regular season, but over the offseason, Doctor, he did admit that he put on some size. He added about 6 to 8 pounds, according to him, in an interview with a French outlet. So he's coming in heavier. And you look at his frame and you can see the difference already, from his rookie season to his sophomore season, he's added more size. But at the same time, Doctor, he's also been saying it even up to today as we record this show that he's still worried about adding too much size. What do you think about Wemby adding more size, good or bad?
I think it's more natural, right? I mean, 6 to 8 pounds is not a lot. That is the normal progression of weight gain from a 19-year-old to a 20-year-old. I mean, I think we kind of forget that, as when you get to our age, Jeff, or I'm even older than you.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it was in our early 20s. You fill out from a late teenager frame to a young man's frame. And 6 to 8 pounds is not outside that normal weight gain at all. I'm sure that he has the team of nutritionists and the weight training staffs of the Spurs to make sure that that was added in the most healthy and effective way. But 6 to 8 pounds is nothing. We get concerned. I think you and I talked about this back either last season or the season before. Okay. Those periods in time where like Kobe came back and had added 20 pounds of muscle or 25 pounds of muscle in that late 20s era. LeBron did the same thing, coming back, jacked and 25 pounds heavier. That is where it starts to wear on your joints. And when you add that kind of number of pounds of mass, it can start to have issues. And then you saw all of those players slim back down. Yeah. And we talked a lot about Tim Duncan slimming down at the end of his career and not adding longevity. Yeah. So I think 6 to 8 pounds is totally within a healthy weight gain that we would expect for his age. And he's doing it in a healthy way. So it will add to his game, add to not being able to be pushed around as much in the post, but not create wear and tear on his joints.
Yeah. And, we didn't get to see a lot of that, that added size because in the preseason, the Spurs barely played, I think 2 games in about 19 minutes each. So didn't see much. Obviously, he played against Dallas and the Houston games, but nevertheless, yeah, I think it will bode well for him. I think you mentioned it, naturally he's going to just gain weight as just a kid. He's only 20 years old, so he's going to get heavier as he just ages. But as far as hitting the weights and throwing up, put on 2 more 45 pounds on my bench, I got this. I don't think that's going to happen. Doctor, not listed on the rundown, but I'm glad you brought it up. We got to talk about this. Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson lost in a significant amount of weight. He looks like you when you take off your shirt at the beach, just ripped and chiseled and everything. No longer the big body, Dr. Ryan. He's the slim body. Talk to us about that. Was that the go-to thing for Keldon physically? Was that the right move? Because remember, his game is just bully ball. Just put the head down, use that big body. They called him a big body for a reason, and get to the rim. And he still could probably do that, but maybe he might take a little bit more effort. Talk about Keldon losing that amount of weight. And when I talk to you about Game Time, go to gametime.co right now. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks. Makes getting tickets easier for your favorite live events that much better. Game Time filters out the fluff, so you only get incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste time searching through thousands and thousands of tickets. Hey, Game Time has it all. They have the super deal. They got seats view before you buy. They got curated deals to make it easier to find the best price on great seats, the lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection. You will be pleasantly surprised with this app. Go get it right now. Game Time Picks, again, that's a curation that makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater. Hey, they have the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Game Time ticket coverage, your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It is game time.
Hello, Spurs fans. Joker here, and I listen to Lockdown Spurs with Jeff Garcia. And you better too.
I haven't really seen what his actual weight in kilograms, pounds went from and to. It could also just be a lot of shift in body composition.
Okay.
Keldon didn't have the definition, that he has now.
Well, he has it now. Yeah. Yeah.
So his weight may still be in the same range. We just may have a different body composition so that he's still able to, drop his shoulder, get, bully somebody down into the post, but not carry, have better cardiovascular fitness and also not as much wear and tear on his knees and his ankles. It's the same thing that people have been saying about Luka, especially because I think Keldon, you could say that it's kind of similar. He's playing bully ball sometimes around the rim, and that having extra weight makes you be able to do that and not get pushed around. But of course, it's a lot more enjoyable to add that with unhealthy eating than it is to do it in a healthy way with weights. But it's going to help your career longevity. It's going to help with your cardiovascular fitness and being able to be in the best shape to finish games in the fourth quarter. And I think that's been impressed upon him by the staff. He's responded to it, and we're seeing a healthier, but maybe not lighter, but a better body composition, Keldon Johnson.
Right. Yeah, he said that he gave up Bucky's food. He said that was his first step. He gave up Bucky's food, and that helped a lot. He said he's a sucker for it, though. He said he put Bucky's food in him, he'll go to town. But and he does have a sweet tooth. He has a sweet tooth. So yeah, I think he cut a lot of that too. But you've told me plenty of times last season, and you probably tell me now. You and me can go to the gym for 8 hours a day, but if we're not eating right, it'd be like, whoop. Oh well, so much for that.
Nutrition's 80% of it. You got to change that diet. It's really hard for NBA players because when they're coming up, when they develop their skills, when they developed everything that makes them feel who they are, they were still able to eat gummy bears and fried,
Bucky's
chicken
food,
strips as their primary meal. So they don't understand why I can't continue to do that as I age, into my early 20s. And it's usually right around that 23, 24, 25 area where you really start to see it develop in the midsection. The arms start to look a little flabbier because our metabolism just doesn't keep up with that, even if we're exercising. Diet is just a huge part of it. And the ones that embrace that go on to that next level in the NBA, and those that don't go the Gilbert Arenas way of things.
Yeah. Unless your name is Boris Diaw, who just ate whatever and was still so freaking effective on the court. You ever hear that story about he walked into I think a Spurs practice with a croissant and a cup of coffee, and obviously I think even Pop noticed like, hey Boris, you haven't been on the treadmill for a while or eating the salad. But the story goes that they have those jumping tests where they have those little bars you can tap and they swing out.
Yep.
That he did that in one shot and broke the record. I mean, why can't I have that ability? Why can't I eat whatever I want and still be athletic like Boris was?
In science, we call that an N of 1. That's a sample size of 1. You're going to have your occasional genetic freak who is able to do that. don't base your career path on one
Yeah,
extreme outlier.
Wait. So I can't eat 12 a dozen donuts while I'm running on the treadmill. I can't do that. That's a bad idea.
But
That's
Boris
a bad
Diaw did
idea.
it, so it's fine.
Yeah, so Boris did. Yeah, why can't I do it? But I don't know. If Boris ate a dozen donuts while on a treadmill, but Boris was just a freak of nature. If you really
Yeah.
look back, think about it. He was a big boy, but man, was he effective on the court. Doctor, we missed you here at Locked On Spurs, but we're glad you're back. You're here to talk with us. It's not the first time and the last time you're going to be on here. You're going to be with us throughout the regular season, if and when any injuries do happen, or just to touch base what's going on in your neck of the woods. By the way, Doctor, a couple things before we give you a little flowers right now. You might be, I think you are the last guest I had a Locked On Spurs that has the nerd wall. The nerd wall.
The nerd.
The nerd wall. All this stuff back here. Yeah. Because it's coming down. Ken's wants to revamp it. So,
really?
Yeah. So they're adding a little bit a green screen. They're just stooping it up. So
I'll miss your nerd wall.
Yeah, I'm gonna find a way to bring it back every once in a while, but because I'm gonna say sure, put the green screen behind there, but I ain't taking down this stuff. So maybe one day I'll be, oops, I bump it and it falls, and oh no, look, it's back. But yeah, I think you are. Yeah, you're the last guest on Locked On Spurs with the nerd wall back here.
Well, I'm honored. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, not a problem. All right, so Doctor, congratulations. You did just a wonderful thing for an individual at, I believe it was at a UT game, correct?
Yeah.
You want to tell us the story, and you got recognized for your efforts.
Sure. I just was able to go meet with this family of this patient. We talked to them, and it's okay for me to share the details with you as long as we protect his identity, which I absolutely will. But we had a young college student at the UT Georgia game who had cardiac arrest in the stands, and they started CPR in the stands and brought him to me in the aid station on the lower level while they were doing active CPR and bag valve masks when they brought him in. Just a college freshman, and it's that really gets a lot of people's attention and really hits you in the heart. But we were able to I did endotracheal intubation on him, got him onto a ventilator. We gave, for the layperson, adrenaline, it's epinephrine, that was able to restart his heart and found him in the rhythm called ventricular fibrillation, which is why you see automated external defibrillators, or AEDs, everywhere you go in a sports arena, at the Spurs arena. This is what that's for. So we got him into that rhythm. We shocked him 3 times, got him back into a normal rhythm, had his airway secured, his blood pressure, heart rate good, and got him transported out to the hospital as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And the wonderful news is he is off the ventilator. I got to talk with his family, got to answer questions for him. He asked us and the medical team from UT, the nurses and paramedics who all cared for him, to come and take some pictures with him and answer the questions he had. But he goes home from the hospital at the end of this week and is going to live a long, healthy, normal life.
Awesome.
And those kind of things are why it is practicing in the hospital becomes harder and harder and more. It isn't always as rewarding. And when families like this take the time to ask us to come back and thank us, and that really keeps us going and means even more to us than it does to them.
Well, congratulations, Doctor. Well deserved for you being, just right there and your staff and the crew, just everybody who helped you, help this kid, as you said, continue to live a normal, healthy life. So congratulations, Doctor. Well deserved. You sent me the video clip of when they were taking the person off. It looks scary. It really looks scary. Yeah. That video clip you shared. But yeah, I'm glad you were there. Couldn't think of a better person for that person to be in the best hands. That'd be you, Dr. Ryan McCorkle. So good job. Thanks. Kudos to you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Any new sneakers?
Well, you got the sneaker collection. Let's see if we have anything new. We got the Black Cat 4s.
Nice.
The Dior highs and lows. all the Travis Scotts and the Kobe's have been my go-to for work for a while. And then the ones I'm wearing are the Longhorn ones that I made myself. Mixed up the colors and put Longhorns on the heel and the back. And I was wearing those and we were doing well up until the Georgia game. So now I got to rethink the footwear going forward. And then my partner gave me the medical bag that I keep in here because I'm third generation. My grandfather was a doctor. My father was a doctor. They both carried a bag like that. And she got me made in Italy, and I've carried it every day since I've been a doctor. So that stays in here too.
Awesome. Yes. As always, everybody, we thank Dr. Ryan McCorkle for taking time out of his busy schedule. As you could tell, he's a busy man. So we find time to squeeze him in here on Locked On Spurs. He is our go-to guy for all things medical questions regarding your Spurs, NBA. I even give you advice just for you, me, everybody's watching. For example, he's taught me the ricin theory. He was there for me when I was sick last season. So yeah, Doctor is a good guy. Dr. Ryan McCorkle, we appreciate it. Make sure to follow him on X at AustinERDoc and on Instagram at AustinEMDoc. Do that right now. We gotta let Doctor go. He's busy, man. So for Dr. Ryan McCorkle, I am Jeff Garcia. We're gonna put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.